Right. So just to start, I'd like you to, my invitations for you to memorize 3 A's. So this webinar is about the 3 A's that I personally use using mindfulness and dealing with change and dealing with stress. So the first A is allowing, second A is anchoring, and then the third A is adjusting appropriately. So that it's allowing, anchoring, and adjusting appropriately. So that is the summary of what I'd like to talk about with you. So my invitation now for you is to do a little game, if that's possible. So 3 rounds. The first round is this. Get your invisible pen in front of you. Just hold it. So as if you're actually holding the invisible pen right in front of you. And then write your name. Trace it on the air. Go. Okay, great. So you still know how to write because you're so used to typing. That's good. Next round, write your name, trace it on the air, but this time from the last letter to the first letter. So my name is Jason Gonzalez. I start with the letter Z, okay? All right. The third round, let's do one line of your whatever nursery rhyme you remember. So for example, Jack and Jill went up the hill. So if that's familiar to you, write that in reverse. So Jack and Jill went up the hill, starting with the letter L back to the J. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, how was that? Feel free to type in the text session. There's the text section. There's a chat there. How was your experience of that? How was the first round compared to the third round? Okay, fun, weird. Any thoughts that you noticed? Needed to concentrate more, hard, needed to concentrate, irritating, difficult, had to really think hard. Okay, until nursery rhyme, difficult, difficult, fun, LOL, challenging, thinking deeply, difficult to concentrate, hard to focus. Wish I'd chosen a shorter sentence. Okay, right, right. All right, thank you so much for that. That's a very valuable as a contribution to that. You see, why did we do this? Actually, that is symbolic of the world we are in. The rules of the game have changed, and because we have habits that are so ingrained, the ways of doing things that are automatic for us, then we still supplant what is going on now with our previous habits from the previous normal, the historical normal. And what can happen is that it can create tension. It says there, it's difficult, it's irritating, it's tricky, it's challenging, it's more difficult to concentrate. And that's true. If you're working from home, you now have your full-time job, and if you have maybe a partner or a spouse, another full-time job, and then you have to teach the kids on top of that, if you have younger kids like we do. So that is quite challenging. And if we use the same mindset as we had before, then that makes it doubly challenging. So you've got the challenge of the time that is spent for work. And then on top of that, there are more challenges that come up because there is resistance, there's clinging on to the past normal and then supplanting it onto the new normal. And nobody talks about it, maybe. So the first A is allowing things to be just as they are. They are changing, and they might change when the lockdown restrictions get reduced further, or if you're in New Zealand, you might not have strict measures as we do here in the UK. So that is really just taking stock at what is actually going on. Let's see what is going on. Non-forcing of the old ways when rules have changed, and see how life unfolds, and then exploring new ways instead of resisting, because the resistant part creates the irritation, the annoyance, and the stress. So maybe it's a good time to talk about how and when we will approach work time for those who are employed. When will it end? Because there's a tendency for it to be nonstop. So you've got the whole day answering emails up to the night. So maybe it's a good day, and you think that, oh, there's that feeling of maybe somebody's watching over me, that I'm not doing my job. And then the person who's in charge of yours is also thinking the same thing. Maybe I'm being watched here. And then the person above, the person that you're reporting to, might be thinking the same thing. Maybe it's a good start of a conversation. See what you are not seeing. And if I may share my screen, our friends from the animal kingdom can maybe help us. So this is inspired by Robert Sapolsky, who wrote about why zebras do not get ulcers. So here are zebras in the wild grazing. He sees the threat, and then the zebra spots the threat instantaneously. The homeostatic balance is disturbed. Homeostatic balance is the ideal temperature, blood pressure, sugar level, anything that is puts us into equilibrium. And then there's the activation of fight or flight. Blood goes to the different muscles getting ready to either flee or fight. And then once that happens, it is communicated to the rest of the zebras. And what do? Instantaneously, they do that. And within 3 minutes, it's over. We can identify with the zebra, but actually the lions may also be so desperate because they need the food. Maybe that's the last thread that they have. They might not exist after that if they don't eat what they're supposed to. And then this happens. The zebras are able to rest and digest again. Okay. Right. That's the price of having the higher brain that we humans have. We are able to project into the future and also learn from the past. That is the result of us being able to progress as a civilization. But it also comes with a price to pay, because we can worry about the future and regret the past, and we can ruminate over and over, and we can get stressed even when there's no external stressor. Maybe when you're trying to sleep, like you want to push away a thought that you don't like or emotion that you don't like, and what happens? So I call it the baby shark principle. The song Baby Shark, Baby Shark, Baby Shark. So if that's in your head, or another song, and you try to get rid of it, see if you're successful in doing that. So it's probably still in your head while you're listening to me. So that's yeah, the baby shark principle works. But what if it's mommy shark and daddy shark? What if it's scary? What if it's like you are not enough, or there's too many things, too little time? I feel like I'm not doing it the right way. The world is crumbling, etc. Whatever thoughts come to you, when you're not aware of that, there can be bodily manifestations of those things. Okay, because it's emotions come in a lump. You've got thoughts that can come with feelings, that can come with bodily sensations, and they also come with impulses. So when they are lumped together, they can be heavy and they can compound. You can have the guilt that you are not spending enough time with, with work or family, whatever it is, apart from the external stressor itself. So our human mind is able to do that. So I bring us to another of the A's that I mentioned earlier. It is the A that stands for anchoring. So first it was allowing things to unfold the way they want to unfold, independent of our mind. But this time it's allowing anchoring onto the present moment, okay, to stabilize the attention on the present moment. And we can do that by anchoring on the body and the breath, two things that are always with us, okay. So instead of being carried away by the stories in our heads or whatever happens. So let's do a practice that I invite you, if that's okay with you. You can follow me, or you may want not to follow me. That's up to you. So if you want, you can just you can just follow the instructions as best you can. I'll give you the signal to start and the end. So just having your feet flat on the floor, legs uncrossed, and you can have your eyes closed if that's all right with you, or you can just lower your gaze 4 or 5 feet in front of you, hands on the lap, and the shoulders at ease, the neck and the spine aligned. So just sitting straight but not stiff, with the head balanced and the crown, maybe crown of the head pointed towards the sky or the ceiling, and the chin slightly tucked in. And we are here to just allow things that we notice to be just as they are, without pushing them away if we don't like them, or if we like them, clinging onto them. So just allowing whatever we notice. And we are just going to notice the body and the breath. So starting the practice by gathering the attention on the points of contact between the body and whatever is supporting you. So the feet on the floor, sensing the feet on the floor, sensing the bottom and the chair. So maybe sensing the weight of the body as it sits here, exploring those points of contact. And letting go of any expectation. We are not here to relax. If relaxation happens, that's all right. If it doesn't, that's also all right. There's no goal to achieve here. Just noticing what's already here. Gathering the attention now to the feet. So sensing what is going on with the toes. Maybe there's tingling, maybe there's numbness, maybe there's itchiness, or warmth or cold. Whatever they are, just noticing without judging them. And if there are no sensations, just registering in the mind a blank. Then expanding the awareness to the rest of the feet and the ankles, so that you're paying attention to the feet and ankles. And then expanding the attention to the lower legs, noticing the shin bones, the calf muscles, the knees, the back of the knees, and then the rest of the legs. Maybe including how the thighs meet the bottom, and then the waist, and then the hips, so that you're attending to the whole of the lower body. And the attention can be compared to a spotlight. So just directing the spotlight of attention to the lower back. See what's going on there. Maybe bringing in a sense of curiosity, a friendly one at that. Not hunting for sensations, but just letting sensations appear and maybe disappear in awareness afterwards. And then bringing the attention to the front of the tummy, the lower abdomen, maybe the sides of the lower part of the torso, sensing what is going on here. Sensing how the breath affects the abdomen. And then bringing the attention to the upper back. And this is a place where we keep a lot of, maybe a lot of pockets of tension. Just noticing what is going on there. Sense of holding or tightness. And sensing the chest. Maybe sensing the rib cage as it expands on an in-breath and as it gently contracts on an out-breath. And then expanding the awareness to the left hand and arm. And then the right hand and arm. And then the shoulders. The neck. So that you're sensing directly what is going on in the neck. Not thinking about the neck, but directly sensing what's going on here. Sensing the face. Maybe the face touching air. Maybe air touching certain parts of the face, like the tip of the nose. As you breathe in, maybe there's cold air there that you can feel. Whatever it is, just allowing it to be just as it is. There's no right way to feel here. Sensing the scalp, and then the ears, so that you're aware now of the whole body as it sits here. And then at a certain point, gathering the attention, all of it, onto the middle of the body, maybe 2-3 inches down from the navel area. Just sensing the breathing here. So that breathing in, you're aware that you're breathing in. And breathing out, you're aware that you're breathing out. If you want, you can even place your hand for a few moments onto the tummy, just to feel maybe the movement that is caused by this in-breath and this out-breath. So directly sensing. Just spending a few moments to just being in touch with the breath without having to control it. Just letting the body breathe the way it wants to. And then expanding the awareness to the rest of the body as it breathes here. maybe opening to the sounds inside of you, within the room, outside the room. Just noticing pitch and volume, not judging the sounds. And just opening the eyes when you're ready. And you may, if it's okay with you, you can type on the chat there how it went for you and what did you notice. All right, so I see here mind wandering, calm feeling, really calming, relaxing, taking time out, calming feeling, relaxed, stillness, felt very peaceful, some lapse of concentration, feel cold, time out and relax. Okay. So thank you so much for your contribution. It's very valuable. So whatever you felt there is fine. That is what you notice. That is your experience, and there's no right way to feel. Okay, so just an important bit about mindfulness. So mindfulness is the human capacity that is innate in all of us to become aware of a present moment experience without judging the experience. So we can become aware, but it's kind of difficult to sustain that. And if you've seen that, the mind can wander off, and that's all right. That's not a mistake. In fact, there's research by Harvard psychologists Dan Gilbert and Matthew Killingsworth, and about happiness, and they have found out the human mind wanders 47% of the time. Okay, so 47% of the time across cultures, different occupations in different countries, 47% of the time. And at work, the human mind wanders 50% of the time. So you can be here with me in Zoom and the mind is not, you know, it's a possibility that you're sitting there and the mind goes to to-do lists, to planning, to whatever it is, daydreaming. And then the invitation to become mindful is to just simply coming back again and again. So it's kind of simple, but it's not easy. That's why we practice it. It's coming back to the present. And if I may share my screen again, this research by Norman Farb and Zindel Siegel, they have discovered that the different parts of the brain are activated depending on what mode of mind you're in. So there's a mode of mind called the being mode of mind. That is the non-judging mode. That is non-striving. It is allowing, and it's sensing instead of thinking. Whereas the doing mode of mind, which we can be in a lot of the time, is a thinking mode of mind. So it's thinking, it's judging, and it's striving for goals. There's the discrepancy monitor, seeing what is and what should be, and the processing is gap-based processing. The way to do it is just close the gap. So that mode of mind, we can take us away from our direct experience of the moment to moment, because it's somewhere else. It's in goals, and the price can be, we can, you know, we do not know that we are not there when we are not there, using paraphrasing what Harvard psychologist Ellen Langer would say. When the human mind wanders, we do not know that it is mind, that we are mind wandering. So we can be lost in thought. Some email when you're eating, maybe, and then some email pops up, and then you miss the food. Or when you're drinking your cup of coffee, you're waiting for a cup of coffee, and then it goes to, oh, I didn't send this, I didn't text my client, and then that captures the mind, and maybe you're drinking the cup of coffee, and then you end up with just an empty cup because the mind has wandered off somewhere else that could have caused you stress, and you miss the nourishment of the cup of coffee. And maybe more tragically, in some ways, you're putting petrol in the petrol tank of your car, and the mind wanders, and you accidentally put in diesel. So that has happened. I've experienced that from clients telling me, yeah, that happens. That can happen because the human mind is designed that way. We think, we mind wander, and it's natural. Okay, so stop sharing here. Yeah, right. So what mindfulness, that the thing that you've experienced earlier, the practice of that, and the definition that I've just given earlier, is known to do these things. You know, there's positive results in measures in stress, anxiety, and depression. So positive results in that for mindfulness-based therapy, comprehensive meta-analysis. And then you've got there a second paper, which is a systematic review of mindfulness in the workplace. So again, positive results in the measures that are associated with burnout, distress, stress, anxiety, and depression. And lastly, from the leader's perspective, this thing, you know, like mindfulness as a structured course, mostly based on mindfulness-based stress reduction by John Kabat-Zinn, that 8-week program, and a program that comes from a derivative of that, which is mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, that is known to, or evidence to, cut the relapse of chronic depression by up to 50% for those who have experienced 3 or 4 more episodes. So there is a lot of papers now written. If you check out the American Mindfulness Research Association website, you can see there in 2019, I think there's around 6,000 already peer-reviewed journals published. And that's what's striking here is this, the number of studies that is published already. Our own data from the Mindful Leader program at Queen's, we have seen this improvement in the measures of self-compassion. And we try to measure this because self-compassion is associated with less fear of failure and the ability to self-soothe in stressful situations. And also 100% people who have attended said that in self-reporting that there's improvement in emotion regulation or non-reactivity, because there's a tendency for us to operate because of our impulse, unchecked impulses. Stress reduction, 71% improved, 86% improved in satisfaction with life and resilience. You can see there the improvement, and quantitative data isn't statistically significant yet. Maybe we can listen to a qualitative interview in its rawness.
I would say it was one of the best courses I've ever attended. The Mindful Leadership course at the Clinton Institute. I got so many personal benefits from it, clarity of thought, and being more present in the moment and enjoying the moment my stress levels have come down significantly because I'm more aware of how I'm feeling, my emotions, how my body's reacting to the situation, and the way you react in your daily work. Other people are observing you and they are taking their guidance from you as a leader. And if you come in with that stressed, anxious, demanding persona, that resonates with the rest of your team. And that is the atmosphere that is created in the rest of the day. But if you are more mindful, it becomes a much better environment and everybody can work much more productively if they're working in a better working environment.
All right. So this brings us to the third A, which is adjusting appropriately. There are habits that we can examine, habits that might not be working for us. So it's adjusting appropriately. And again, as I've said earlier, in terms of allowing, once we allow and let things unfold the way they want to unfold, and then we anchor to the present moment, maybe we can see what things we need to adjust, things that may lead us to stress. Maybe there are structures, policies that cause stress, and maybe considering investing in long-term and not quick fix solutions, because mindfulness is not a quick fix solution for relaxation. It is something that makes us become aware of our habits. So makes us aware of our habits and see what works for us, what can nourish us in this challenging time. So the 3A model that I have here is so these are not tips, they're more things to cultivate, and we can do that by maybe engaging in a mindfulness course, maybe engaging with the mindful leader course with the queens. I'll just end with a quote from a very wise individual, and then after that followed by our closing practice. So I just wrote this from yesterday from a very wise individual. It says here, this is my diary, it says, "My friends don't come out to play anymore. Not many of them come out. There are a lot of changes going on. But that's life. Life is life, and it's fine." That's from my 7-year-old Paolo. Life is life. Let it unfold and see. So if I may invite you to just close with a few minutes to just focus on the breath. So just having your feet flat on the floor and hands on the lap. And sitting in a way that for you embodies a sense of dignity, with a spine erect, not stiff, with arms, hands alongside the body, or the hands on the lap. And just focusing on the breath, just this breath coming in and just this breath going out. And if you find the mind wandering, that's all right. That's not a mistake. The mind naturally wanders, just coming back to the breath without giving yourself a hard time. Breathing in, aware of that in breath. Breathing out, aware of this in breathing out. The mind wanders, that's not a mistake. Just noticing where the mind has wandered to, and gently and with kindness escorting back the attention to the breath, without giving yourself any hassle. There's no right way to do this. Just noticing the experience just as it is. And then gently opening the eyes. And good afternoon if you're from Northern Ireland. Or good evening if you're from Asia. Or good afternoon if you're from the Middle East, wherever you are. So that's me. You can contact me at jason@happywarrior.co.uk or the Leadership Institute at qub.ac.uk. So, yep, that's us, as we would say here.
So, Jason, thank you so much. That was a wonderful session. It was a really great, invigorating session, taster session to mindfulness. For many of us that haven't practiced before, it was a really good starting point for us. And certainly the testimonial that you shared in terms of the application to the workplace and allowing us all to really kind of embrace life and embrace the challenges that come towards us, and a sense of clarity and sense of purpose. So just to reiterate what Jason said, you can certainly have a look at our website, leadershipinstitute.co.uk, and you'll find all the details about the Mindful Leader program. The next session commences in October, and certainly, you know, none of us know what the next few months are bringing, the challenges that will throw at us from a personal and professional perspective. So certainly worth having a look at and arming yourself with a very valuable skill and tool to take us into the next weeks and months. So many thanks, Jason. It's a great pleasure to host you today.
Oh, thank you so much, Sue. And thank you for the Leadership Institute, William J. Clinton at Queen's. And thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. Just to let you know that we will be posting the video on YouTube, more than likely available tomorrow morning. So check out YouTube, the William J. Clinton Leadership Institute channel, and you'll be able to access the recording there as well. We have a couple of minutes for questions, so if you'd like to post some in the chat box or any of your feedback, we would welcome all your feedback on today's session. And don't forget to check out Eventbrite with our forthcoming events as well over the coming weeks. Lovely to see so many of you here today. Lots of feedback, Jason, very positive. Everyone's saying they really enjoyed the session.
I'm glad. Thank you.
No questions at this stage.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you have some answers if you don't have questions.
That's it. This is it, exactly. That one from a contact asking, when will we do this again? Well, hopefully we will be supporting our friends and alumni and everyone from the wider Queen's community and indeed the world as it stands in the coming months. So certainly we can have a date in the diary for a bit later in the year, and we all need support at this time. So certainly would be very glad to have Jason back again and do a similar session. Yeah. One question, Jason, where was the photograph of the young man on the bridge taken? Spectacular.
Oh, that's taken from, well, I can tell you where the website is from, but not the mountains. It's yeah, that's from Unsplash. Yeah. So, yeah.
And we have a contact asking, do we find meditation useful? I think that's the wider community, to the wider attendance list. We'd love to hear if you have been practicing mindfulness for quite some time, and drop us a little line in the chat room. We've a couple of minutes just for a bit of a conversation. So it'd be really good to hear if you are using it as a daily practice. Mm-hmm. It was great to hear, Jason, about your son and his attitude to life, and that life is life, and what can you do? We have to roll with the dice.
Mm. One of the things that we talk about is how we are actually animals too. You know, like looking at the National Geographic, because we tend to see ourselves as like, I don't know, everlasting, or but we actually just live around 80 years. That's the average age here. But we are part of that. this wide-mindedness. We're just part of history. It just so happens that in history, we got COVID-19 as our challenge. And, you can look at it that way. That's how Paulo looks at it. So even at the 7 years old, I think there's a leader there.
Absolutely.
I could see that, the wide-mindedness and seeing how things are all connected, nature and people, and,
Absolutely.
everyone's in the same boat.
Yeah, we firmly believe that everyone can be a leader. Absolutely. Just a few comments, Jason, before we sign off. We have a contact who's doing a Mindfulness Monday session every week as part of their support system from working from home. So that's a very helpful practice. Another contact saying that the scientific evidence has convinced them that it was very worthwhile and that they will engage with the practice a bit further. So certainly the feedback has been very positive. I think for Jason and I would like to thank you all for joining us. It's wonderful to have so many on the call, and we hope that you'll stay in touch with us and connect with us on some of our further sessions. And if you enjoyed today, keep an eye on our Twitter and LinkedIn pages, and we'll update you on the next one. So have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Have fun.